Hey y'all, I'm Karyn.
And I'm Mingo.
And this is the Mingo and Karyn Show.
Whoop, whoop.
Yes, and we are excited about today's episode. We may get a little deep on y'all, but just
below the surface.
Yeah, before we kind of get, before we continue the episode, we just kind of want to give you a little bit of about who we are.
Yeah.
So we started a podcast a little while ago and decided, because we started this channel because we really want to. We've been married 27 years.
Help couples.
Yes, and we have 4 adult children. Well, I don't know why I can't stop calling them children, but okay, it's 4 adults that we raised
Young
together.
people.
Yes, and so we just kind of wanted to get on here and tell people things that no one ever told us in terms of what things we went through in our relationship.
The secrets.
Yes, and how the things that we learned, we just want to be able to share them with you. That's really important to us.
Yeah, like I was telling my oldest son that if it took us 27 years to figure it out, with this information, we would hope it would help him in 27 days.
Absolutely, and with all of our adult people.
Absolutely, all of our children and people that we know.
Yeah, and so what we want to talk about today is the best way to support your spouse. And this came about because a couple of days ago, I was having a moment. And sometimes I can tend to kind of go with them. I get lost in my own thoughts and I don't always share the way that I should just because I can't always figure out what it is I need to figure out on my own. So in that time, Mingo could tell that it was something that was kind of
something was off. I could tell.
Yeah, and so he was like, "What's going on?" And it just made me realize how fortunate I am to have a spouse that is supportive. So
I just noticed just being around Karyn for so many years. When your partner is off, and sometimes you say, "Should I say something? Should I not say something?" But this was one of those moments I felt we've grown to a place in our relationship. I should absolutely be able to say something. But I had to keep in mind, I had to come in very gentle and I had to come in showing unconditional love.
Yes. And go ahead, baby.
No, I'm just saying. And I'm just learning that sometimes you can't, we used to do this exercise with our children when they were smaller and tell them you can't listen and learn at the same, you can't talk and listen at the same time.
Yeah.
And this was one of those things. I just got quiet and I let her just put her thoughts out there. And were her thoughts cohesive? No. But in her mind, they were.
Yeah, I was kind of all over the place with it. But it was because it was really rooted in emotion or something that that has just been a long time coming for people who really know, who know me or whatever. And I have kind of just had this struggle for probably the last decade with really getting myself together and wanting to get my health together. Yeah. So I kind of have been yo-yoing and I go up and down and not accepting, who I am today, where I am and learning how to love myself and things like that. So I can tend to kind of get in my head about it because I feel sometimes, and not because of Mingo, not because of my children, not because they're not always saying, "Oh my God, you're so pretty," or "You're so this," or "You're so that," but it's because of what I wanted to see within myself and how I perceive myself. So I was having kind of one of those moments.
Yeah.
And Mingo recognized it.
Yeah.
And he said something to me and then I started crying, which was kind of, I don't cry, y'all, very often, but it was so emotional for me that I wanted to, I could not stop myself from crying. And so in that moment, I actually became a bit angry with myself. And I was like, "Oh my God, why am I crying?" And I was like, I just should have not said anything. And then that's when he kind of stepped in and was.
And that's where at that point, when she said she should have not said anything, me as a husband, paying attention to her, that's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. She should be able to say whatever she needs to say, especially about something you're dealing with.
Yeah.
And I knew that, we're preparing for a trip, and I knew that she wasn't happy with, outfits and just the whole gamut of what women and men go through.
Yes.
And she just wasn't happy. And then I just saw her kind of nosedive. And I'm like, no, we can't let this happen. We're going to take advantage of this moment. This is not no learning moment. This is real life. This is beyond a podcast. This is real time. And my wife is hurting. Her eyes are bloodshot red. She's weeping. She's not crying. She's weeping. Yeah. And I know when you weep, that's internal.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I need to talk to her about this.
And your unconditional love for me didn't judge me, didn't ridicule me. Your love for me came in and said, "You know what? Let me support her in this moment. Let me hear her in this moment. Let me see her in this moment."
Oh, baby, it's okay. It's all right.
And I wish that everyone had someone who could love them the way that my husband loves me. It's why we do this. It's why we believe that this is what we're supposed to do. Because it's important, because his love for me comforted me
Yeah.
in a moment that I really needed him. And he was patient with me and he was understanding. He doesn't see me the way that I see myself, you know? And so he didn't fuss at me and go, oh my God, why are you thinking it? Or why would you say that? He was just like, babe, tell me more. Tell me more so that I can help you be whoever it is that you need for me to help you be. And that support, his patience with me, his kindness, his love was more than I knew I needed. It's because I was internalizing it. And so to be able to say it out loud really made it real for me.
And I think as men, or not even as men, as a partner, you can't go in and fix everything.
Yeah.
Every moment is not fixable. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you do more damage trying to do damage control.
Oh, that's good.
And when I'm watching her, I knew that.
Sorry, y'all, I'm trying to preserve this makeup, okay?
She didn't need a resolution right then.
Yes.
She needed support. Mm-hmm. And whatever she was feeling, I don't have to be going through it, or I don't have to understand it to be supportive.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing it out of love. Mm-hmm. Because I want my wife to feel better. I can tell her she's beautiful, fine, gorgeous all day long. Yeah. But sometimes if she doesn't believe that, she doesn't hear that.
That's true.
And that goes for men too. We're not exempt from having internal feelings about ourselves. Mm-hmm. And my wife always support me. I'm telling you, anything I want to do, I can go say I want to sell old hot dog water on a corner, and she's going to support me.
Absolutely. Got to tell y'all a fun story about that. When we first met, we were 19. Mingo always wanted a car wash and a gas station, right?
I did.
So we went and got a shop vac and got this guy who had a barbershop. Yeah, we got all the supplies to do the car wash. And so this guy had a barbershop, and there was a lot next to the barbershop. So my idea was, listen, I'm aware this was when I was, we were 19, so shape was busting. So I put on my Daisy Dukes, and we got a poster, and I wrote the sign, car wash for $5. So just to kind of let you know how we are, it's been day one on this. So this is not anything new, that I'm going to always support him, and I'm going to always make sure that I have unconditional love, because there's nothing that I want more than for him to thrive the same way he wants me to thrive. And he helped me through a situation that was extraordinarily difficult for me on the inside, but now that I've let it out to him the way that I need to, I feel like it's so much life that was breathed into me from him. Yeah. I don't know how to quite articulate it, but it's just like how as a person sometimes you can feel like you're at the bottom of something, and that you just need somebody, and I didn't know how to tell him what I needed, but he knew what I needed. And he came in and he helped me.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to be patient and be understanding. Yeah. Because I'm not the most patient person. Now, I've become patient over the years. I'm one of those, let's get it done. Let's get it done. Yeah. But when it comes to a person's emotions, there's no rhyme and reason to it. Mm-hmm. Everybody's different. Every relationship is different. Every method is different. But only thing I can do in any of those situations, I have to be consistent. Mm-hmm.
Sorry for my makeup, y'all. Okay, that's a part of it too. I might be messing stuff up, but my hair's still cute. It is vanity. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
But we understand. We all been there. Thank you. But being patient and understanding, I just thought in that moment, I'm not going to let her get in her own head. Because sometimes when you get in your own head, them things pass quickly, or sometimes it stay in your head for 25 plus years. Yeah,
and I've been struggling with that for 10 years, just having my ups and downs. So I want to say that my husband in no way has ever made me feel like I was not the most beautiful, sexy, desirable, lovable, whatever woman in the world. He always tells me how beautiful I am and how smart I am. It goes deeper than just my looks, but just the overall love that you have for me is beautiful. And I thank you for your patience. And even in this moment, just hearing me, sometimes people need that. Sometimes people need for you to understand you, because you see me differently. Yeah. You may not agree with me, but you understood. And that's important.
But you're easy to love, though. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm not always. I wasn't always easy to love.
But we all have things that, we don't want to say out loud. Mm-hmm. I have some, I know. Mm-hmm. I can't speak for nobody else. But but when you have a support system or an ecosystem that you can say things out loud and you're not going to be ridiculed for or judged or, talked about behind your back. This is a real support system that if you got to go on for 7 hours, they will sit there and listen.
Yeah, and I believe you will.
And then if they are your true ecosystem, they may say, "Are you open to receive?"
Ooh.
And you might say no. And then the group ain't gonna take offense to it.
Well, I was open.
Or the person ain't gonna take offense to it. But when a person asks you, "Are you open to receive?" then you approach that thing with love.
Yes.
And then it's like, "Hey, we can't fix your issue that you have today. But what we can do is find the best outfit that makes you feel gorgeous." Yes. Whatever we can do externally to make you feel gorgeous, we can fix that.
Yes. And then when you ask me about being open to receive it, I think for those of us who are in a position where we need support, the most valuable thing that we can do is if somebody is supporting us, we can be open to receiving help.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, we can be open to receiving. Don't come at me crazy now. Doggone it. Like, hey, soften the blow a little bit. Don't come on hard. Because, see, then I'm going to have to go on and, get back tough and not show my emotions. And then I
hit her with a pillow and not a hammer.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. So, but he came at me with, like I said, definitely with that unconditional love. And he behaved in love. Yeah. He behaved in love when he said, "Hey, can I offer you this? What is it that you need? What is it that you need for me to do? And because this is what I feel like you need to do moving forward. I feel like you need to change how you see yourself. You need to change how you accept yourself. You need to be intentional about what you're doing every single day and every single decision that you're making in your life. What is stopping you from doing that? What do you feel like over these 10 years you haven't gotten that you need in order to be who you know that you are?"
But what you saying that, it made me think, well, Mingo, how did you know to do that? I didn't just know to do that.
Yeah.
It's because you showed me grace.
Aww.
So when you showed me grace, it gave me the ability to give grace.
Yes, man.
You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, some people have things that just is born in them. That wasn't one of those things that were born in me. Don't mean I didn't support people, but I'm talking about showing up at the right time in the right way.
He was the only child, so the only child syndrome steps in, honey, so they don't have grace, understanding, patience.
I'm going to start an only child club, and we're going to make a movement. We're going to make a movement.
And then I'm going to start a I have siblings club so we can fight with them all the time. No, I'm just playing.
We won't fight because we only children. Only children don't fight.
The only child just walk away.
They just take their ball and go home. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to deal with that. I don't have to deal with that. But, I'm being serious, though. That grace piece, you needed grace in that moment. You didn't need a blueprint.
Yeah.
You didn't even need advice. You needed grace because those emotions were so high and so real that they made you weep.
Yeah.
It's almost like you was mourning something that you lost.
Yeah.
And watching you go through that made me say, "No, man, you got to show up in the most, I don't care how long y'all been together. You got to show up for real today."
Absolutely.
Because I got to help you get out of your own head. You know what I'm saying?
Which I agree.
And because sometimes when you get in your own head, you can take it out on other people when they're trying to help you. And that didn't happen in our case, but it has to be if you just think about it logically.
Yeah.
That can happen that sometimes, how people get upset and then you try to hug them and comfort them and they're like, "Don't touch me."
Yeah.
It ain't that they're being mean to you. It's just in that moment, that ain't the place. So you have to show grace and respect to say, "Hey, I can't take this personally. She needs to have her moment. He needs to have his moment." I had a moment like that a few months back.
Well, let me say this before you give us the example. I think something you just said, they take it out on other people. I just had a revelation that I took it out on myself.
Oh, wow. Wow. I don't need to give an example because that's so amazing what you just said. You realized that you stepped outside of yourself and said, "You know what?" You start telling yourself, "You did this. You ate this. You drank that. You didn't do this exercise program. You caused this." When if you got medical pieces in there, give yourself some grace. If you're taking a medicine and the medicine does this, you rather live than fight with than not take the medicine.
Absolutely. And I think that also brought up the revelation that as you supported me, I realized that I didn't even have support for myself.
Man, it's almost like Dorothy, click your heels, go back home.
Because she always had the power to get home.
Yeah, and you always have the power to, that's why it's called self-esteem. And you have to build it up, but you go to it when you need it. Yeah. And you needed it in that moment. But me being your helpmate saying, She don't have it right now.
No, I didn't.
She know Houston. She's going down. We can't let her. She might be nose diving, but she don't have to hit the ground.
That's right.
And we go catch her before she hit the ground, and we go support her. We're not gonna lift her all the way up. We go support her at a level she wants to be on. And when she want to get a little higher, we go support you a little more.
And I feel like you really carried me.
Yeah.
I feel like I didn't. You know, it's a place when people carry you, they bear your weight.
Yeah.
And you are weightless to yourself because someone else is carrying that for you.
Almost like being in water.
Yes, I felt like you carried me through that process and you helped me to understand. Because see, any other area of my life, I'm good. This weight thing has been wearing your girl out for a minute. And so, like, as far as the esteem is concerned, my whole self-concept about who I am overall is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's just I have struggled with this because... Child, sometimes, listen, let me tell y'all something for all my people who going through this. Listen, sometimes if I want some fried chicken wings, okay, I be doing all need of y'all. But they be calling me, man. I mean, sometimes it just gets to that place, but I have to say, okay, now, what you gonna choose?
And you know what you do?
Chicken wing or you
don't
gonna
eat,
choose you?
You don't eat 6, you eat 4.
Say what?
Depends on how big
I'm
they
just
are.
playing. But yeah, no, so I get it and I understand. I think I've read enough. I have a cousin who's a whole personal trainer. Shout out to Ashley. Hey, Ash. And she and I talk, and I know that we talk a lot about what's going on in my thoughts as far as this is concerned. And I think that just as I commit to anything else, I just have to make up my mind to commit to it. And this is not about that. So I don't want y'all to think that this is what it's about. But I want people to understand that this is okay to share yourself and people can learn from you. We're here to help people. That is our goal and our foundation, and having the support of my best friend, having him being patient with me and understanding with me and saying, you know what, Karen, don't worry about this, babe. Tell me what you feel. Don't shut down on me. I need you to fix it. Yeah, and don't try to fix it. I used to be a fixer. I'm still working on that. But also, you know, we did an Instagram video. It's been a couple of years ago, and we were riding in the car. We used to do these videos, and we talked about showing grace. And it was like I had this revelation of we were riding in the car like we always do, and I always say that in the video. And then I thought, man, we were having this conversation about when people mess up sometime or when they don't know it, they don't understand. Even if they just show a little bit of grace, it just makes room, you know, because we are not all perfect. And have you been in a place where you needed grace? Because, I mean, you might have showed your whole natural behind. Yeah. And somebody needed to say, you know what? She was just having a moment. Let me just give her some grace right now and tell her it's going to be okay. Is there anything that I can do to help you in your moment? So I appreciate my husband that though he does not understand what my thought process is about my own, you know, thing that I'm going through, because he doesn't see me that way, that he said, you know what? It doesn't matter how I see her. If she sees herself like this and she needs me in this moment, I've got to be here for her. And that he provided that grace for me and that unconditional support for me is something that I cannot put into words. This is what made me emotional in the beginning, because I'm grateful for you.
I'm grateful for you also. And you know, what you saying that to me, you know, we have one another, but sometimes, like I was saying earlier about an ecosystem, you got to make sure that team, those people you go to in those moments, because everybody doesn't have a spouse to go to.
That's right.
They may have a dear friend, but that dear friend can serve that same support system that I stepped in that moment.
Absolutely.
It could be two females. She's like, girl, I know you can do this. It could be one
friend.
It could be one of her male coworker friends. They're like, hey, I know what you've been through, but I know where you're headed. Yep. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And that's what you're looking for in any type of relationship. You gotta have that in there. Well, I'm not gonna say you have to, but for me, being married 27 years, it works.
Yes.
And I would hope that even, let's just say our children, I would hope that they exercise this because it works. Yep. It's proven that it works. What do you have to lose not to try? To show somebody grace, be supportive. If somebody having a moment, don't judge them and say, why you feel like this and why you feel like that? You bad. You got this kind of car. You got this kind of money. That ain't helping that internal thing that showed up that night.
That's right.
You can have a whole Benz sitting outside. That ain't, you gonna be in the Benz crying.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's just what it is. So that's why it's important to work on the inside versus the outside. You know, going back to a funny story, when Karen was talking about her holding that car wash sign, I had this big blue Chevy with the white seats and the rims. And
we called her Blue. She was
we parked it on the corner. And
you got to tell she had 30s and Vogue.
Yeah, 30s and Vogue. You know, that was them.
Old school.
Telling our age.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you why I want to talk about that car real quick. Because in Georgia, we fix the inside before we fix the outside. We get the engine right.
Yeah.
And once we get the engine right, then we get the interior done. Then once the interior is right, then we paint the outside of the car. Same thing with your body. Get the inside of your body right first.
And your mind.
Your mind, your body, that internal thing that we can't see.
Yeah.
That work you put in. I ain't talking about sit-ups. I'm talking about that work you put in when you sitting up there thinking.
Yeah.
Thinking positive things, reading positive books, listening to positive messages. Get that part right. That external piece, the body, the look, that's easy. You go to the gym, you do push-ups, you do sit-ups. So work on the inside first. See, I had to work on the inside of learning how to be there for you because I was on the outside. It was what it looked like.
Yeah.
But I ain't talking about what it looked like. It's what it needed to be.
Yes.
And when it showed up, it was genuine. Because you know when somebody shows up and it's not genuine.
That's right.
And it's like, you just made me feel worse. You know what I'm saying?
Like, what are you here for?
Why were you my first phone call? And remember that too,
here.
another podcast, the first phone call you make when you need somebody.
Ooh,
but we'll talk about that on another day. That deserves a moment of silence. All right. So, but you know, just being serious, you know, we gonna be playful. It's gonna have moments you see we've cried. Well, she's cried. I cried too, but I ain't cried this time.
Don't let them see you cry.
Don't let me see some videos with babies and stuff.
Oh, it's
I'm a miss.
over. Oh,
babies
God.
and animals, I'm a miss.
I'm like, babe, are you crying?
No, allergies. It's allergies. We live in the South.
Always wiping his eye that side way like that.
No, we live in the South. Now, when my nose stop up, they got me. But, you know, I just want people to understand grace is such a beautiful thing. And once you experience it, I'm not talking about getting it. I'm talking about giving it. Once you give it one time, it's such a feeling that you don't know when it's going to happen again. That's what I like about it. It's not a staged thing. It's not like, okay, look like he need a dose of grace. Let me step in. No.
Right.
I'm saying that moment show up and you're able to say, hey, what do you need from me?
Yeah.
Do you just need me to listen?
Yeah.
I'm going to listen, and I promise I'm not going to say one thing, and when you finish talking, we're going to go on talking about something else. That's what grace is to me.
Yep. And sometimes you just need that and that support. You know, for those of you who may not have the support system that you want, go and find the people who you can support and who can support you.
Absolutely.
That is so vital to life. It's a lot going on in this world. And I think that is, you know, our oldest son was actually going, Mom and Dad, y'all need to let people see y'all. Y'all need all of this stuff you telling us. Y'all, he didn't say it like that.
Right, I'm like Darth Vader. You hear the voice, but you don't see the face.
Like, why we got to tell people all our business? He's like, because you're all, it's so many people that could benefit from you all and from what you're telling us. And I think even though our young adults have that support system, they have us no matter what if they need us. You know, it's important though that we want them to be able to have partners that they can support and that can support them, that they have, like my husband said, that ecosystem around them of friends, of coworkers, of whatever it is that you need to have that support, that you should be able to have it. So always understand the value of that support, the value of unconditional love, the value of patience. Oh my God, just patience alone allows you to just be there and be quiet and listen. The value of understanding that even though you may not understand, that you can empathize. I didn't say sympathize. Yeah. You don't have to. My husband did not feel sorry for me, not one bit. But he said, you know what? My wife going through this right now. And so even though I don't understand it, I'm going to empathize with her and know that she's in this moment right now. And I need to be here for her. And I need to say, you know what? I may not understand it, but I am empathizing with you. I feel where you're coming from and I want to help. And then that's where he showed me an abundant amount of grace. Yeah. And he said, you know what, babe? Whatever it is you need from me, let's do it. Even the day after, he said, baby, you know what? What is your day looking like today? What are you going to eat? What are you going to do? Yesterday, he gave me kudos because he went to get him something that I was like, nah, dog, I'm not eating that. And then he was like,
it all out the window.
He did throw it all out the window. And so then, so I made a different choice. And then after we got the food, he was like, I'm really proud of you for making a different choice because you didn't have to. So that grace right there, it was like a boost. It was like a boost for me. So I want to tell you all that find you something good, find you somebody to support you, that you can love on, and don't be afraid to be vulnerable with them. Make sure you can trust them now.
Trust is real.
Yeah, with your feelings, but make sure you get somebody that supports you unconditionally. And we want to wish you happy relationship building.
Happy relationship building.